say when you know what you got? Sacrifice ain't that hard. Feel like depending on me. Sometimes we ain't meant to be free. When you know what you got, sacrifice ain't that hard. Feel like depending on me.
Hey y'all. Hey y'all. I'm just so happy. I'm full. Welcome back to Kicking It with Key. This is episode 2. We made it to 2. We made it to 2. And it's all because of you. So I'm really, really happy you all tuned back in. I hope that you had fun on the first episode. I hope it wasn't too, deep or whatever. But I just wanted to share a couple thoughts with you about expectations because we already know how that can be sometimes. I wanted to address a couple of things that have been talked about since the first video. First thing is, this is always going to be juice. Because I got asked, they were like, is this like something else? No, this is just juice. I love juice. That's something you'll learn about me. And so I will drink it often on videos because I just love it so much. Also, since the video happened, this happened, and I saw it 3 times. So all I can say is Wakanda forever. Like, I don't even know. Like, if you haven't seen it, you're crazy. Like, you talking about Okoye, Mbaku, all of it. I love it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. It was so beautiful. It was so amazing. It was so full of culture. It made my ancestors proud. I just know it. And so I'm just full from that movie. It made me so, it was so, how something so good, it make you mad. Like some food tastes so good, you just want to pop somebody. Maybe that's just a southern thing. Or you tell somebody they put their foot in it, but you mad about it. Yeah, it's just like that. I wanted to go up and pop Ryan Coogler because it was so good. But anyway, so I definitely thought that was something that needed to be addressed. This episode is all about pain. So I'm all cheery and this is fun or whatever, but this is actually a topic that's not that happy. But that's okay. I'm going to try to make it as light as possible. Also, yes, I did break a nail. These are my real nails, but for some odd reason, every now and then when they get really, really long, one of the nails just says, all right, girl, you thought it was. We're not even going to be cute out here in these streets because we don't want to be. So it's gone. And the rest of them look great, but that one nail was like, whatever, girl. So that was painful. See how I did that there? So yeah, this episode is called When It Hurts. So we got to start talking about how we deal with pain. Specifically millennials, but really everybody. We got to start talking about how we deal with pain. Life can be sucky. Life can suck, and it can suck bad. Like, And if you've been living around here for longer than 3 years, I'm pretty sure that you've had some situations that make you want to, give up. Honestly, even the most sane person, even the most together person, even the most polished person. And when I say sane, I mean what people think is sane because, society creates this picture. But even that person that everybody thinks they has it all together has experienced some type of pain in their life. And it has caused them to question their existence or just how things are. So I want you to ask yourself, I want to start out by talking about this way. I want you to ask yourself, how do I deal with pain? What do I do first when it hurts? Of course, my phone is doing things in the middle of my video. I'm sorry, guys. But what do you do when it hurts? What is the first thing you run to? Do you call home to your family? Do you have friends that you talk to? Do you write? Because that used to be one of the things that I did. Do you pray? Because I love the Lord, so hey, I'm running to Him in prayer. But I also know the reality is sometimes we don't hear anything right away. And so my question is, how do you deal with your pain? When it hurts, what do you do? How do you cope with the unavoidable truth that you will experience pain in your life. Today, I'd like to offer you, after you think about those questions, I'd like to offer you some suggestions on how to deal with pain. Many times people think that pain and suffering actually go together, but they don't have to. I like to offer the idea that pain doesn't have to come with suffering. So in order for us to understand that, we need to talk about what pain is and what suffering is. So pain is something that's unavoidable. It can be mental, it can be physical, it can be emotional, any of those things. But it's unavoidable, and it's something that just happens to all of us. What did I say? All of us. So when people, look like they have it all together and they have never, doesn't look like they've gone through anything, it's not true love. It's not. Because I know I look like I got it going on. But my first experience with real pain was being diagnosed with lupus. And remember I told you that in the first episode that I was diagnosing. And it sucked. Like, it was terrible. Oh my gosh, I was young. But that was my first encounter with pain. And it was at that moment I started to learn how to deal with it. And man, it was a journey. It's still a journey, though. It's still a journey, because I ain't got it together. For real, if you want to talk about it, I'm about to be 24 next week, and I'm still wondering how in the world I got this thing on my back, how I got the big L on my back. But I would like to offer the idea that pain and suffering don't have to happen at the same time together like that. They don't have to be connected. I believe that pain is something that is unavoidable, but suffering is avoidable. Pain is what happens to you. Suffering is how you deal with it. So when we suffer, it means that we have internalized our pain. And the real question is, so the big question of today is, how do we experience pain without suffering? How does that happen? How can we do it? Because I don't remember in high school getting a blueprint for how to deal with pain and to make sure that you don't suffer in the process. I don't know if I went to the wrong high school, or in the South, back in the South, they weren't teaching everything that we supposed to learn, which I don't think is true, because I went to Howard University. But my question, seriously though, is how do we experience pain, which is inevitable, without suffering, which is avoidable? I'd like to offer you 3 ways you can do that. So, take a little journey with me real quickly, a little juice in me. The first way is to find a consistent source of joy. And notice I didn't say happiness, because happiness in many cases can be temporary because it's an emotion. Emotions are fleeting, right? Find a consistent source of happiness. What is something that is consistent that will bring you joy? For me, it's Christ. Straight up. It is unwavering. It will not go anywhere, and it is always there when I need it. Christ is that. He is that for me. What is it for you? I hope that Christ will be what your unwavering joy looks like. But what does it look like for you? And how will you accomplish that? Number 2. As you remember that pain is something that you cannot avoid, I want you to think about finding some good people to go through the storm with you. And this is a hard one, especially because many millennials, such as myself, we're out in the world living away from people that, we're used to being around. Some of my closest friends don't live in the area that I live in. And so that's tough. But you got to find people that can go through the pain with you and can support you in the process, because you deserve it. Okay? And then the last thing is, know that everybody has to find a way to deal with pain. Everybody. Even the most polished person. And I spoke on that earlier. If you looked at me, you couldn't tell that I had a chronic illness. There is no way for you to really tell that. But the reality is, everybody has their own secret pain that not even their parents or the people that love them most know about. I mean, God knows, of course. But the majority of people do not know that they're going through that thing. So everybody has to find a way to deal with their pain. Everybody has to find a way to deal with it. Whether it be self-care, which is super important, reminding yourself to love you. Whether it be finding a hobby, you got to find something that you love. Dance found me when I was younger. And even though I love teaching and I'm an educator, you got to have something outside of your regular job, especially if you got a job you don't like. I am blessed to love working with children. It's tough. It's been tough this year specifically. But, like, you have to find something that you love. So let's review, because you know I'm an educator, so I'm going to have you review or whatever. Number one, find a source of consistent joy. I know I just sound like I'm making them sound easy, but they're not. Find some good people to go through the storm with you, because the winds can blow you over and you just got to be ready. But if you got somebody standing with you arm in arm, then it's a little bit easier. It really is. And then number three, know that everybody has to find a way to deal with their pain. And it's up to you to decide how you're going to deal with yours. And so with that being said, that's really all I have for you today. I know that this wasn't the typical second video, exciting, smiling, jumping around key, but reality is we got real stuff to deal with, and I'm not going to sugarcoat nothing for y'all. You ain't tuning in to me for that. So I hope that you'll continue to kick it with Key and talk about some of these things that we just got to get over, got to get through, got to get under if we need to crawl up under it. But I'm so glad you joined me. You know, please let me know what you want to talk about. There's so many other days for this, so many other topics. I do want to let you know that I know every 2 weeks I've been doing a video. So video 1 came out 2 weeks ago. Episode 2 is going to come out today. But I'm going to do a special birthday video to premiere to you guys on March 23rd when I turn 24. And I hope you'll tune in. It won't be it'll be next week, so it won't be like that gap in there. But I hope you'll tune in 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because I know I got some love and some followers and some supporters in, other time zones, because I'm from Arkansas, so. But thank you so much for tuning in. I'm just so blessed and so happy to know so many people that are interested in being involved with me. And with that being said, I'm about to jam out to this song from Black Panther real quick, and I'm going to let y'all go. And drink some juice.
To the subject, but not blind to me. And I know that this margin ain't too small for me. Not too real, not too much, I need more, nothing